Hello Golden State Warriors fans, we are here once again to bring you the latest news related to our team, and I would like to emphasize how committed we are to improving our performance to achieve great results. Before we dive into this intriguing news, I kindly request you to show your support by clicking the like button, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you all to join us on an exciting journey. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything.
What the Golden State Warriors reportedly considered after LeBron James opted into his $52.6 million contract with the Lakers. When LeBron James opted into the final year of his contract with the Los Angeles Lakers, a deal worth a staggering $52.6 million, it made headlines across the league. After all, it's unheard of for a player approaching his 41st birthday to command that kind of salary. But if anyone defies the norms of aging in the NBA, it's LeBron. Entering what would be his 23rd season, James remains one of the league's most impactful stars. Still, his decision to opt in has been met with both curiosity and criticism, not because of his play, but because of the shifting dynamics within the Lakers organization. A franchise now focused on Luka Doncic. The Lakers made waves this past season by acquiring Luka Doncic, a generational talent entering his prime. With Luka now firmly positioned as the new face of the franchise, it's no secret that the Lakers are pivoting toward building around him for the long term. That leaves LeBron, a legend yes but an aging one, in an unfamiliar position, no longer the centerpiece. And that shift hasn't gone unnoticed around the league. Golden State Warriors considered a LeBron trade, again. According to ESPN's Ramona Shelburne and Brian Windhorst, the Golden State Warriors were one of several teams that took a close look at the possibility of trading for James after he exercised his player option. Some teams, including the Golden State Warriors, who tried to trade for James in 2023-24, again considered whether to make an offer, ESPN reported. It's not the first time Golden State has expressed interest in pairing LeBron with Stephen Curry, a hypothetical superteam that would send shockwaves through the NBA. And with the Warriors remaining unusually quiet this offseason, some insiders believe they may still be holding out hope for a blockbuster opportunity like this. The LeBron-Curry dream? The idea of LeBron James and Steph Curry sharing the floor has long been a fan fantasy. Two generational talents, two different styles, both masters of their craft. It's a combination that could instantly shift the Western Conference landscape. But there's one major catch. LeBron has a no-trade clause, meaning any deal would require his full approval. That gives him complete control over his destiny, even as the Lakers subtly shift focus away from him. The beginning of the end in Los Angeles? LeBron's time with the Lakers has been nothing short of iconic. Since arriving in 2018, when the team was mired in one of the darkest stretches in its history, James helped return the franchise to prominence, culminating in the 2020 NBA championship. In 7 seasons with the team, he's averaged 26.6 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 8.1 assists per game, elite production, even by MVP standards. Yet as reported by Shelburne and Windhorst, all signs point toward the 2025-26 season being LeBron's last in a Lakers uniform. James understood the Lakers were seizing the opportunity to build around their new young star, they wrote. But from LeBron's perspective, that transition didn't always come across as gracefully as he might have hoped. Luka never lobbied to be a Laker. He was acquired through aggressive front office maneuvering. LeBron, on the other hand, chose Los Angeles. He joined a team that had missed the playoffs for 5 straight years, and in just 2 seasons, delivered their 17th NBA title. A legacy in transition. There's no denying the emotional weight of this turning point. LeBron James has given everything to the purple and gold: leadership, consistency, championships, and global star power. But in the end, even icons get outpaced by time and the inevitability of change. As the Lakers move into the Luka era, the NBA watches closely. Will LeBron quietly finish his run in LA? Will he approve a trade to chase one last ring with a contender like the Warriors? Or will he shock everyone and hang it up on his own terms? Whatever happens next, LeBron's legacy is secure. But how and where, it concludes. That's the story still being written. Rumors spiral, LeBron's next move in question. Following the Lakers' pivot to Luka Doncic, speculation has intensified across the NBA. As insiders and rival executives keep a close eye on LA, multiple teams are said to be quietly circling, ready to propose trade packages should LeBron exercise his no-trade rights. Among the names floating around, the Miami Heat, who may see value in pairing LeBron with Jimmy Butler during one last title charge. The Phoenix Suns, banking on reunited chemistry after LeBron led them to the NBA Finals in 2018. Even Cleveland, a sentimental destination where LeBron's career began, might loom as a potential landing spot if he decides to end where it began. While there's no public trade push yet, sources say the Lakers remain firm, emphasizing that any LeBron departure must be his choice, not forced. Lakers culture, a shift in leadership. The cultural gap in the Lakers locker room is becoming more palpable. Team communications. Internal meetings now regularly feature Luka as the lead voice on offense and strategy sessions, signaling a formal handoff of leadership roles. Fan experience. Merchandise updated with #23 Doncic jerseys and social media campaigns heavily feature Luka, subtly repositioning marketing efforts in his image. Coaching focus. Coaching staff, including head coach J.J. Redick, have started discussions about playing styles better suited to Luka's athleticism and versatility, stepping away from tactics tailored to accommodate LeBron's veteran presence. Collectively, these moves strengthen the narrative. Luka is the future, and leadership is already shifting. LeBron's response: quiet, but strategic. While LeBron remains publicly supportive, emphasizing team unity and shared goals, his demeanor since opting in has been noticeably reserved. Preseason hints. Observers noted LeBron's quieter presence during early training sessions. He practices hard, competes intensely, but is noticeably less vocal in leadership huddles. Whether that's a sign of emotional fatigue or strategic carefulness is open to interpretation. Agent signals. Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, has emphasized patience and process, reiterating that LeBron hasn't ruled out returning to LA, but hasn't ruled out exploring contender destinations either, depending on the team's path forward. A league-wide turning point. If LeBron departs, the ripple effects will be monumental. Lakers enter a full rebuild era around Luka, and begin leveraging LeBron-era assets to accelerate that growth. LeBron offers contenders a rare chance at wisdom, experience, and championship pedigree, even as he edges closer to retirement. NBA narrative loses one of its most prolific ongoing storylines. With LeBron no longer under the spotlight in LA, the focus shifts fully to the Luka era, but for many, the question of LeBron's final chapter will become the defining off-season storyline. What to watch next? Preseason performance. Will LeBron dominate when on the floor? Will he seem disinterested? Trade whispers. Will any contender put a serious offer on the table? Luka's ascent. How will Luka respond to having more responsibility and spotlight year one? Fan reaction. Will #LeBron leaving break or unify the Laker fanbase moving forward? Final thought. The story isn't over, but the plot has undeniably shifted. As LeBron James stands at a crossroads, the Lakers are already turning toward their new beacon, Luka Doncic. Both the franchise and the league will feel the impact of this change. The only certainty now is uncertainty, and the knowledge that the story of LeBron's final season with the Lakers, and Luka's rise to ownership of the purple and gold mantle, is only just beginning. Very soon, Brian Windhorst names 2 players he expects the Warriors to sign in free agency. The Golden State Warriors are the only NBA team yet to make a free agency signing this offseason, and while that has some fans panicking, ESPN's Brian Windhorst is urging patience. So far, the Warriors' offseason has been unusually quiet. They lost longtime center Kevin Looney, haven't signed a single free agent, and watched other Western Conference teams reload around them. The Houston Rockets, who Golden State defeated in the playoffs, made arguably the biggest splash, bringing in former Warriors superstar Kevin Durant, along with Clint Capella and Dorian Finney-Smith. Even the LA Lakers made a major move, shoring up their front court by signing DeAndre Ayton. Meanwhile, the Warriors have held their cards close. But according to Windhorst, fans should not be concerned. In fact, he believes the Warriors are just getting started, and that 2 key signings are very much in play. I expect them to make a couple of moves soon, Windhorst said on ESPN's First Take. I expect them to sign Al Horford. And I see them as strong candidates to bring back DeAnthony Melton, who would give them solid depth on the wing. Windhorst also noted that the Jonathan Kaminga situation remains unresolved, and could play a major role in how the team shapes the rest of the roster. They've got the no. One restricted free agent left on the market in Jonathan Kaminga, Windhorst continued. They're either going to re-sign him or potentially use him in a trade to add value. But make no mistake, the Warriors are going to make moves before the season begins. Al Horford could fill a major need. With his contract in Boston expiring, Veteran big man Al Horford has been heavily linked to Golden State. Head coach Steve Kerr is known to be a huge admirer of Horford's leadership, intelligence, and defensive versatility. At 38, he's not a long-term solution, but he fits perfectly within the Warriors' current win-now timeline, especially alongside Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green. Some around the league even believe the Warriors should do whatever it takes to land the future Hall of Famer. Melton reunion makes sense. DeAnthony Melton spent part of last season with the Warriors before suffering a torn ACL and being traded. Now a free agent, he's expected to be healthy by the start of the 2025-26 season, and Golden State reportedly sees value in bringing him back. His defensive presence, playmaking ability, and familiarity with Kerr's system make him a natural fit for the second unit. The Kaminga Domino. While the Warriors remain high on Kaminga's potential, they're also aware of his market value. The Sacramento Kings are believed to be the most aggressive suitor, but talks have yet to result in a deal. Windhorst cautions that the situation might take a while to unfold. Kaminga's future may not get resolved anytime soon, he said. But whatever happens, the Warriors are in a position to benefit, either by keeping him or using him as a high-value trade chip. Either way, there's no need to panic. More than just signings, what these moves could mean. Building a title-ready bridge. If Golden State lands Al Horford, they're not just adding depth, they're gaining a strategic veteran bridge. Horford's elite court vision and positional defense can allow Kerr to stagger minutes among Curry, Green, and Butler without compromising structure. Paired with dynamic wing depth from someone like DeAnthony Melton, the Warriors balance championship pedigree and second-unit firepower. These stories matter. A rotation with Horford and Melton won't just fill openings, it could tilt playoff series in their favor. League-wide reactions. Across the West, opponents are already taking stock. The Phoenix Suns, watching Horford go to a rival, are reportedly reconsidering their own veteran additions. The Lakers may see a rejuvenated Warriors backcourt and begin drafting contingency plans. And the former playoff foes in Houston are keenly aware that Golden State is reasserting its competitive edge. Front office strategy. NBA insiders suggest the Warriors are playing a high-stakes game, not chasing headlines but building quietly. Sources indicate Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Bob Myers are negotiating restricted terms with Kaminga while finalizing routes for Melton's return, planning for a holistic roster that spans high-end stars and proven role players. Even if Kaminga is dealt, Golden State's front office views the outcome as win-win. They either keep a promising young piece or convert him into veteran assets to complement Curry's run. What fans should watch. 1. Official Horford signing. It would signal Golden State's commitment to shoring up frontline intelligence and reliability. 2. Melton's return. A reunion could reintegrate familiar defensive schemes and re-energize Kerr's bench strategy. 3. Kaminga decision. A re-signing offers upside and long-term growth. A trade suggests the team is finalizing a take-and-win-now roster. These aren't just moves, they're message plays, telling the league Golden State is far from finished. Final takeaway. Yes, the off-season started slowly for the Warriors. But now, through thoughtful vetting and calculated decision-making, they're poised to quietly unleash a high-impact stretch run of roster upgrades. With veteran savviness from Horford, athletic toughness from Melton, and a clear plan for Kaminga, the Warriors are repositioning themselves as a complete, championship-ready package. And it all happens before training camp even starts. Warriors draw into NBA's group of death for upcoming in-season tournament. The Golden State Warriors are officially in what many are calling the group of death for the upcoming NBA in-season tournament, and the road ahead won't be easy. Alongside them in this stacked group are the Houston Rockets, now featuring Kevin Durant, as well as the reigning powerhouse Denver Nuggets, the ever-promising San Antonio Spurs, and the up-and-coming Portland Trail Blazers. While the Warriors remain focused on their ultimate goal, making a deep playoff run and returning to the NBA Finals, there's no denying the value and intrigue of the in-season tournament. Beyond the bragging rights and the significant bonus checks, it's also a rare chance for high-stakes basketball early in the regular season. Golden State is still expected to add a key free agent this summer, aiming to reinforce a championship-caliber roster. But the group stage they've been drawn into could serve as an early proving ground, or a wake-up call. Houston, after being eliminated by the Warriors in the first round of the playoffs, bounced back strong. They ended the year as the second seed in the West and made major off-season moves, bringing in Kevin Durant, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Clint Capela without disrupting their core. Denver, meanwhile, pushed the Thunder to 7 games in the West semis and added serious depth by signing Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Bruce Brown, and Jonas Valanciunas. Even the Spurs and Blazers, often seen as rebuilding teams, are making serious noise. San Antonio is building around the generational talent of Victor Wembanyama, with De'Aaron Fox, Stephen Castle, Dylan Harper, and Devin Vassell rounding out a young, dynamic core. The Blazers took a big step forward on defense by adding veteran guard Drew Holiday, signaling their intent to compete right away. So while the in-season tournament may not be the Warriors' top priority, this group stage is more than just a formality. It's a chance to build momentum, test themselves against Western Conference threats, and send an early message to the league. A strong performance could boost their confidence heading into the heart of the season. But if things go south, it might push GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. to get aggressive at the trade deadline. One thing's for sure, the intensity is coming early this season, and the Warriors are right in the middle of it. The announcement of the tournament groups immediately sparked reactions across the league, with analysts and fans alike highlighting Group C, the Warriors bracket, as easily the most competitive. Social media quickly lit up with comparisons to past playoff matchups and speculation about potential revenge games. That group looks like the Western Conference semifinals, one analyst joked on national TV. From a strategic standpoint, the Warriors find themselves in a delicate position. With veterans like Stephen Curry and Draymond Green heading into the twilight of their careers, every chance to win, even mid-season, holds more weight. There's also the matter of chemistry, especially if a new free agent joins the squad before training camp. The in-season tournament could serve as a critical trial run for building cohesion under pressure. But the stakes are equally high for their opponents. Houston is looking to establish dominance with its newly assembled super team, and Durant would no doubt relish a chance to outshine his former squad. Denver, the defending NBA champions just a year ago, are eager to prove they're still elite after retooling their bench. And then there's San Antonio and Portland, two franchises blending youth and veteran leadership with something to prove. These aren't just games, they're tone setters. Internally, sources close to the Warriors suggest that head coach Steve Kerr is already viewing the tournament as more than just a side competition. With Golden State struggling with consistency throughout last season, Kerr reportedly sees the early tournament format as a way to instill urgency and test lineup combinations. You don't have the luxury of easing into these games, one team insider shared. If you want to advance, you have to play playoff-level basketball in November. Financially, the tournament adds another layer of motivation. Players on the winning team could walk away with significant bonus checks, up to $500,000 each, a compelling incentive for both veterans and young players fighting for roster spots. For a team like Golden State, managing egos and balancing minutes during the tournament could reveal how well this roster is truly built to endure the long haul of a playoff push. Across the Western Conference, GMs and scouts will be watching closely. A dominant run by the Warriors could reassert them as true title contenders and silence the growing voices questioning whether their championship window has finally closed. Conversely, if Golden State stumbles out of the gate, particularly against revamped teams like Houston and Denver, expect the rumor mill to heat up, with potential trade packages involving names like Andrew Wiggins or Jonathan Kaminga starting to circulate. In the end, the group of death is more than a nickname, it's a gauntlet. And for the Warriors, it's a chance to either ignite their championship journey or expose the cracks that could define another frustrating season. A reunion with DeAnthony Melton just makes sense for the Warriors. And by the looks of it, he thinks so too. In case you missed it, the Golden State Warriors have recently been linked to free agent guard DeAnthony Melton, now with the Brooklyn Nets, but once, albeit briefly, a Warrior himself. NBA insiders like Mark Stein and Jake Fisher have listed Golden State as a strong contender to sign Melton, and eagle-eyed fans notice something else. Melton has quietly started following the Warriors on Instagram. That little social media hint added fuel to the fire. And for good reason, a reunion just feels right. When this off-season began, there was really only one question surrounding a potential Melton Warriors reunion. Would Melton be open to returning to a team that let him go after a serious injury? To be clear, nothing the Warriors did was unethical or unfair. Melton, on a one-year deal, tore his ACL early last season, and Golden State, in urgent need of healthy bodies and veteran help, had to make a tough call. They traded him, along with Reese Beekman and a trio of second-round picks, to the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for Dennis Schroeder and a future pick. Schroeder, of course, was later flipped as part of the deal that brought in Jimmy Butler III. Meanwhile, Melton spent the year rehabbing, focused solely on returning strong for the 2025-26 season. Logically, The move made sense for all sides. But emotionally? These kinds of roster cuts can sting. Being let go while recovering is never easy, regardless of the circumstances. That's why it matters that Melton doesn't seem to be holding a grudge. If anything, the fact that he's open to returning says a lot about his professionalism and maturity. Some players struggle to separate the business of basketball from personal feelings. Melton appears to understand the game on both fronts. Now, the question shifts. Can the Warriors do what it takes to bring him back? Because they absolutely should. Despite playing just 6 games before his injury, Melton fits seamlessly into the Warriors system. His defensive instincts, court awareness, and two-way play were a perfect complement to Stephen Curry. He was a natural leader of the second unit, capable of running the offense when Steph sat, and willing to do the gritty work without demanding the spotlight. His effort was contagious. His passing was smart. His shooting? Timely and reliable. And perhaps most importantly, he quickly earned the respect of Curry, Draymond Green, and Steve Kerr. With the arrival of Jimmy Butler, the Warriors finally addressed some of their depth and over-reliance on Steph. But the need for a steady veteran guard still lingers, especially with the ever-present risk of another Curry injury. Brandon Podziemski's development is exciting, but placing the full weight of second-unit playmaking on a young guard isn't a sustainable strategy. The Warriors need someone reliable. Someone who knows the system, who defends at a high level, who can initiate offense and make big plays without disrupting rhythm. They need DeAnthony Melton. GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Kerr already knew Melton was a great fit last offseason, and 6 games into his Warriors tenure, they were proven right. So with the same needs still lingering, why overthink it? He's still the right guy. Golden State needs to make this happen. Because this isn't just a reunion, it's unfinished business. Melton's return wouldn't just be symbolic, it would be strategic. With the Warriors entering what many see as a transitional phase, they need players who can bridge the gap between the old guard and the emerging core. Melton, at 27, is uniquely positioned to do exactly that. He's young enough to grow with players like Podziemski, Tracy Jackson-Davis, and Moses Moody, but seasoned enough to earn immediate trust from Kerr's veteran-heavy rotation. And around the league, the noise is growing. Several insiders have noted that Golden State's front office has quietly prioritized a Melton reunion, even placing it above other backup guard options in free agency. According to multiple reports, preliminary discussions may have already taken place between Melton's camp and the Warriors, though nothing has been finalized. Meanwhile, fans have taken to social media to express their enthusiasm. Posts on X, formerly Twitter, and Reddit threads filled with titles like "Bring Melton Back" and "He's the Missing Piece" are gaining traction among the Dub Nation faithful. One fan wrote, "He's like the glue this team didn't know it needed. Defense, IQ, unselfish play. Run it back, please." The Warriors themselves have not commented publicly, but reading between the lines suggests movement. Golden State's front office has been relatively quiet since the Butler deal, leading some to believe they're keeping cap space flexible in anticipation of making one final meaningful signing, and Melton fits the bill. Of course, competition exists. The Nets, who hold Melton's rights, are reportedly still interested in re-signing him, especially after watching his recovery progress over the past year. A few other playoff-caliber teams, including the Miami Heat and Phoenix Suns, are rumored to be monitoring the situation as well. But Golden State has a critical advantage: familiarity. Melton knows the system, the locker room, and perhaps most importantly, he knows what it feels like to be wanted by this franchise. And it's not just about fit. Melton represents a cultural match, a high-character, defense-first, team-oriented player who doesn't need the ball to impact winning. In an era where many rosters are top-heavy and role players are undervalued, Melton is exactly the kind of player who helps close playoff games, control tempo in tough stretches, and elevate team IQ when it matters most. If the Warriors can close this deal, it could end up being one of the most under-the-radar high-impact moves of the offseason. One that doesn't just address a roster gap, but helps write the next chapter of the Warriors' evolving identity. The ball is in Golden State's court now. They've seen what Melton can bring. He's shown he's willing to come back. Now they just need to finish what they started.